Greetings and salutations, my beloved passionates, newcomers, visitors, and guests. Welcome to a very special edition of the Passion PSA podcast, where I, Passion No Last Necessary, your Get You Right Guru, issue a weekly public service announcement about whatever I have observed or was on my mind. This is a for your consideration zone where the objective is to offer you a perspective you may not have previously considered to both A, expand your thinking, and B, aid you in becoming a better version of yourself, and for others. This is a safe space, but not necessarily a delicate one. I will never rob you of your right to feel what you feel, the same way I will not sugarcoat the truth to make it more palatable. The goal is to get you to higher, more expanded thinking so that you can operate as your highest and best self. If you are new here, affirmations are usually our first order of business before we get into it, so that we intentionally raise the vibration and ensure, regardless of what I say and how it may make you feel, we've started on the highest possible vibration and the same frequency. But that's not what we're doing today.
Ew, is that snot? Oh my god. Did you see it? Oh my god, I hope not. Oh. Oh my god, I'm going through bad changes. Y'all, don't judge me.
Okay, Passionate. So today's episode is going to be unlike any other we've done in the past. I'm always alluding to or making mention of the things I have going on behind the scenes. I've been talking to y'all all season about the big studio reveal, and even though there's additional work to be done and pieces that remain to be ordered, today I am finally going to share the part that I've been hiding from you. Now, some of you were here in the off season, so you saw the unboxing of the rug. And if not, here's some quick highlights.
Are y'all looking at my megaphone? Are y'all looking? This is a rug, passionates. This is a rug, okay? This is how you brand, all right? This how you. Are y'all looking at my hands or on my megaphone? Are you fully understanding, like, the dopeness of what we have here, Yo. Are y'all looking at my megaphone? People don't always understand why you celebrate the things that you celebrate. And there's so many people, when they finally tell their story, they finally write their story, and people get the opportunity to read it. It's like, wow, it was for all of that. Like, or you don't even know to have. Like, I'm still giving you the abridged version. Because I'm telling you this in a couple of pages. This is a couple of months that I'm compacting into a couple of pages. There are some people who can celebrate the joy that I experienced unboxing my rug. And then there are some people who've been in my life, who've been in my home, when we were here sitting on some folding globe chairs that really weren't that comfortable.
I was so excited when I got that rug, and for so many reasons. Obviously, because it looked different than I thought it would. But there were other factors, like the length of time I had been looking for a custom rug, but not finding what I was looking for, and then finding this rug maker only for him to not be accepting commissions at the time of request. And that was like December 9, I think. So when he availed himself to do mine, I was ecstatic. And like I told you all in the unboxing, his customer service and follow-up was bar none. I definitely hope that he's watching, because another order will be coming his way. Okay, so the rug arrived January 7, and that was pretty quick from our initial conversation on December 24. Same day the rug arrived, I finally pulled the trigger and ordered lighting after creeping around that site since sometime in like 2021, I think. Now, did I know anything about lighting? No, and I still don't, but I knew I needed some. And shout out to the sun for lighting the set when I recorded early enough because it had me looking right without weird shadows on the side of my face. But y'all, I watched playback of episodes recorded late night because sometimes it worked out that way. And I was so annoyed at how yellow those episodes looked, but that's what happens when you're not using proper lighting. And I know someone is saying, well, why didn't you just get a ring light? They cheap, then that's what I use. I know. I can see them space sage circles in your eyes got you looking like Janet Jackson in the What's It Gonna Be video. I'm good, love. Enjoy. Okay? So in the meantime, I did what I could with what I had, completely forgetting that I had some other tools on hand, but that's beside the point and irrelevant now. But I did what I could until I was ready to make this investment. Okay. Decision made, I ordered lights, and then I forgot to learn how to actually properly light the set, but I've learned everything else in transit, so this is no different. All right. Rug received, lights ordered. Now I need some new furniture to round out the set. Now, y'all know my plant babies, they give what needs to be given for decor. But I needed somewhere for a guest to sit if I wanted to do an in-person interview. My one papa sign wasn't cutting it. That's why EJ was always in the background. It was either we share a chair or I put him on the floor, and I couldn't do him like that. So once again, I was up and down the internet on the hunt for the perfect seating. Now, I didn't necessarily have the exact picture in mind, but I knew once I found what I was looking for, I would know it. So late night, January 11, probably like 1 or 2 a.m., so January 12, I sit down to eat and watch some videos from my watch later list. And you know how YouTube gives you suggestions after you watch an episode or you watch whatever post? They gave me a suggestion that turned out to be something I didn't want to watch. But I did look up what they were talking about. Now, that search didn't yield the results I was seeking, but while I was on that site, I decided to peruse their furniture, see what they had to offer. That experience broke me down to tears.
I'm sitting here. The day is January 12th. It is 5:15 a.m. I really want this space to be a real, authentic studio. I don't necessarily want to shoot it to appear like a studio. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with putting up the green screen or, having it appear to be whatever. But there's an authenticity when I do things. I don't necessarily want to create an illusion. I actually want to live the experience.
I decided to record what I was thinking and what I was feeling in that moment because I have come a really long way. And in full transparency, I can't say that I didn't have advantages. My mother did her best to set me up for success on every level, right? But every advantage in the world means nothing if you're not ready to capitalize on them. So that moment of reflection, it was so wild.
I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking about the fact that I went from what was left for me, and I was making it work. I was making do with what was left for me because I was still trying to find my way. When my mother relocated, she left the furniture, and then when the apartment was going to be closed out and I was going to have to really start over on my own in the place where I was supposed to be moving, that just wasn't a good idea. That just at the last minute, it was like, yo, I don't feel comfortable moving here. I don't want to do this. But I didn't have where to put my stuff. I didn't have where to put anything. So everything I put out on the sidewalk in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. It was me and the person I was with at the time. And I happened to run into one of my neighbors in the building. And I was like, yo, I need some hands. And at 2 a.m., we moved an entire apartment onto the sidewalk. So we're talking about wall units and living room set and just everything. Just put it out on the sidewalk because I didn't have where else to put it. I couldn't keep it. And I was supposed to be leaving, but I had nowhere to go. So a decision was made, and I was allowed to stay. What was already moved out was already in storage. So basically, what was left in here was my bed. And that was pretty much it. And there's a whole story that goes along in between then and now. But when I finally retrieved my things from storage, it wasn't much. There was nothing for the living room. So the living room was just kind of like this big cavernous empty space.
My executive assistant, Brianna, always says that entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey, and I don't think it could really be better stated. It will take you to the edge of your bank account, the edge of your sanity, the edge of your emotional resolve.
It's the going from not only not having anything, but not being able to afford to get like what you want, because your mind is always on like, well, I have to do this and I have to do this, and I only make enough money to do this, I only have enough money to do this. And going from there to taking all of the initiative to pour into what you're doing and create something. Just sitting here in this moment and thinking about the fact that there's still so many things that I need to do and still so many things that I'm working on. But for the things that I have done, for the steps that I have taken, I've positioned myself to where I'm investing in my business to really build this set, build this studio. I can remember talking to Ghost about like his experience when he was building his studio, and how, he's like, people come after the fact and they see you with all this equipment and they see you with this whole like world of stuff, and they don't realize like the sacrifice. They don't realize that you had to basically build it brick by brick. People really don't get what that means when you're building it brick by brick. When you went from like, all I had was the computer and I didn't have anything else, and I had to save up and I had to do the work and I had to do whatever behind the scenes. So I had to apply for the loan and I had to pay the loan. I had to work the business in order to pay for the loans, in order to pay for the equipment. And so this one piece of equipment cost me a couple $100. And so you come into this finished space and it's like, wow. And then you just look like, oh, okay, well, you got it. Like, yeah, I can deserve it, yo. Because I built this from the ground up. I worked for this from the ground up.
And even at the point where you deserve to walk into a space and see the fruits of your labor, there are still moments of stress thinking about all the responsibility, but specifically the financial responsibility involved in maintaining said fruits. So it's like being on a seesaw of anxiety over how and gratitude for the ashe, gratitude that it is so.
But just to be in a position to be able to do that, and knowing that, like, even if there's not a penny coming into the business, I still got to give all these things. I still got to be 100% grateful that I'm employed. I work at a job and I live in a place that allows me the financial stability to be able to make these investments in my business and still be able to sustain myself personally. So to sustain the business and to sustain the individual, there was a time when it just wasn't enough. There was a time when I couldn't afford to eat and stay housed and get back and forth to work. So now it's narrowed it down to like 2,700 items. And within like the first few, there's this furniture set that they show in like this bright fuchsia color. It's fire. Like the color is just so vibrant and it jumps out at me. And they have it in like a yellow colored mustard color. They also have it in purple. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is perfect. The price point is perfect. This set is perfect. This is the colors of my logo. This is the colors of my brand. I'm loving this. It's coming together in my mind beautifully.
So I find the pieces that give the perfect look, but looks aren't everything. With this same set of furniture, I ordered some other pieces that looked amazing, but when I got them, they were a letdown. They were uncomfortable on my back, uncomfortable on my legs. Point is, I tarried over this furniture, considering everything from the back height to the seat depth, to the height from the floor, to the frame materials, to the width, to the weight capacity. Since I was able to find all the pieces individually, I knew I could mix and match, and they would be the perfect complement to the rug and further reinforce the branding.
There was a time not that long ago when there was no place to sit, and the one place there was to sit was furniture that was left behind by somebody who didn't want it anymore.
Y'all, I was in my bag, going from falling through the stitching to popping up out the opening for like 30 full minutes. In the process, I remembered that I'd received the email that the lights were coming.
And this is how you know that this video is for real authentic, because ain't no type of lighting. My lights are coming today. I forgot about that. I ordered lighting. I ordered the lighting so that we don't have to use the sun anymore. I know y'all can't hardly see me. Let's see. I literally just woke up from a nap. I've been up all day, all night. Oh, sucky now.
Once I got the box inside, it was time to assemble and start figuring it all out.
Yes, I am here in my onesie. Judge me not. Judge me not, oh gentle passionate, for being in my PJs and doing this unboxing for you. This is how I stay in my home alone. I wear pajamas and record unboxing videos. Do not come for me.
I had 2 cameras running trying to get all this footage. This was literally a several-hour process. I did everything from unbox, identify pieces, make songs, make PSAs. The full unboxing and setup will be on the channel as well, so you can check it out. It was quite an amusing journey through confusion, so if you're looking for a good laugh, this is the one to watch. The next day, I get a text saying signature required for FedEx, but I ignore it because the email I got when I ordered said something different. So, of course, what happened next threw me for a loop. That's what I woke up to. Actually, it wasn't that pleasant. It was actually him cutting the materials on my bedroom wall. So as he's cutting, boom, he's banging into the wall. Boom, he's banging into the wall. So this is for the last like 2 or 3 hours I've been hearing this. So I finally opened the door and went to go see what exactly is going on in the hallway. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm working. Bro, please don't make me push you off this ladder. I'm like, clearly, but you are working and all of this is at my bedroom. So again, what are you doing? Like, what kind of work are you doing? So he proceeds to tell me that he's installing new cable and internet wires and they're gonna come and do it in your apartment. Who is they? And when? Because did nobody call me and ask me if I was going to be available for this? Did nobody send me no email, no text, no nothing? So I'm like, I now understand. So they're doing like a new install. He's like, yeah, Optimum is doing a new install. So he has to do the work outside of the apartments. And then they're coming to do the work inside of the apartments. So I'm like, I'm getting ready to go back in my door and I see a FedEx notice on my door. Well, why would I have a FedEx notice on my door? Like, I'm not expecting any packages, not before. Oh. So clearly he's working right here because I actually felt that in my arm. Okay. I'm not expecting any packages before next Thursday. So why would I have a FedEx notice? Because you know, the scammers, they'll send you stuff in your text messages, right? And then you click on it and it's like, what? I ordered furniture for the studio. I did not anticipate getting the furniture before next Thursday because that's what they told me. So I'm looking at this notice on my door and he's like, somebody left some boxes for you by the elevator. I'm like, he left boxes? He left boxes by the elevator? He's like, nah, I was working so he couldn't put it in front of your door. Right, because all your is in... It's all of his supplies. And the things that he needs to do his work are in front of my door, obstructing the hallway, etc. So FedEx came at 11 o'clock and attempted to deliver. Of course, I wouldn't hear any of that because Armageddon is happening from my bedroom to my door. And he couldn't leave it in front of my door, so he left it in the hallway by the elevator. Now, I'm going to attempt to lug this stuff. I'm going to attempt to lug this stuff down the hallway and figure out how to get it in the room. I just want you to know this is part of the reason why sometimes you don't get to see like the documentation of the work, because it'd be such a job to get this stuff down one hallway and into a room and out of another room. So stick with me, y'all. This is What One Woman Does, the building of What One Woman Does Studios. Let's do it. Mind you, this isn't all of the furniture. Y'all don't pay mind to my hair. I've been watching these other YouTubers, right? And I look at how amazing they look, how their hair is beautifully done, or even if their hair is a sloppy ponytail, their nails are done. And I know some of y'all are like, why don't you do that passionate? Because I'm doing this, okay? You came for a beauty tutorial? It's another channel for this. You want to see how it goes behind the scenes? The real behind the scenes at What One Woman Does Studios is me with some socks and some flip-flops looking crazy,
But when it's time to do that podcast, though,
I'll be back.
Adjust accordingly. Thanks. Some of y'all be rolling your eyes. Oh my God, Passion, do you have to sing everything? Yes. Yes, I do.
Yes. Yes, I do.
My old school gospel has. Oh my God. All right, let me call him.
The color. It's always the color for me, okay?
Composure. Gather yourself. All right.
Okay, I was going to let you see the furniture piece by piece, but I want you to see the finished product altogether. So you're just going to have to sit tight a little bit longer. Definitely watch these unboxing videos because I was having the time of my life unpacking and assembling. But anyway, I spent the next hour or so assembling, admiring, and staging the chairs in preparation for the arrival of the sofa. That night, I came home after work and made measurements for placement of the acoustic panels I was going to order. Now, if you're an audiophile or just attentive to detail, you probably noticed ever since they laid the new floors, the studio sounded echoey. There were reflections bouncing everywhere. I don't know if that's from the stuff I removed from the space or the flooring or what, but it's been blowing minds for almost a year. Couple that with the upcoming work that I have scheduled, I needed the sound quality improved. And in fairness, I already had acoustic foam, but I hadn't placed it for several reasons. I didn't know where I should put it, didn't know the best way to affix it. My environments are constantly changing, so I didn't know if putting it in one place would serve me if I relocated to another place. Indecision and uncertainty served me well this time because I didn't place them then, but I will be soon, so I'm excited about that. In any event, I knew the measurements of the panels, but I was trying to figure out how to ideally place them, ensure the plants still got their shine, and ensure that they worked with the sofa and the rest of the set. All of this was speculative, courtesy of Optimum and the very inconsiderate worker causing my sofa to be returned to FedEx because signature was required for receipt. But I always say it is well though, right? So this occasion was no exception, and it worked in my favor. I slept in a living room that night so I would hear the bell when FedEx arrived because I had a feeling that they would arrive early, and sure enough they did. So after I got that box, the real work began.
Okay, it's here. Of course, I was sleeping. Well, I wasn't sleeping, but I just got up. But it's here. Oh, we about to put it together. The studio. The furniture's about to be complete. Once I get these emails back about these photos, we go off to the races. Let's get started.
The process of assembling the chairs was extremely easy and super exciting, so it definitely gave me a false impression of what assembling the sofa would be like. It's like the mother who has the easy first baby, and then they have the second one, and they're like, I love them both, but if I would have known it would be like this, I wouldn't have had any more. That sofa had me questioning my own intelligence, okay? It took forever to figure out how to affix the back to the seat, but once I did, I still couldn't line it up to attach to it. So while you see this sped up, this doesn't look so bad version, the real-time version was more like...
Right, so we decided that I need to rotate this. Because I feel like I'm trying to figure out how best to... Because what's supposed to happen here? Because I'm really, like, I'm a little perplexed. Because how you... What? This is supposed to be easy. No one said it would be easy. Okay. Okay. So I have now put my stuff on wrong. I got the line up good. I put it on wrong. I've lost 3 pieces that I need. Well, that's false. I lost 2 pieces that I need. No, that's false. False. I lost 1. I really didn't lose it. It's just the fact that now I'm going to have to move this, and I don't necessarily want to, but I have to. Alright. I just went to YouTube because I'm like, this can't be happening. And the assembly is supposed to be bolt, spring, flat, because the other way around. This provides tension. The spring washer provides tension, and the other way around, the threading would eat at the wood. So there you have it. So what I'm going to do is assemble all of those pieces. And how I lost it was that I thought I had it lined up, and I was like, yes, praise the Lord. And then, kablewy pow pow, I was trying to get this in, and I couldn't, like, it wasn't a fixing to where I could continue to turn it, like it froze. And when it froze, the spring washer was at the bottom, and the spring washer slipped, which meant I had to lift this whole thing just to be able to get the spring washer. It is well, though. I'm sure there's somebody that's like, I knew that. Didn't nobody ask you what you knew? You ain't here. You ain't here helping. Thank you. We're figuring this out together. When I say this is unreal, oh my God. Why did this work 10 seconds ago and now it's not working? No, because where is the screw hole? Shout out to all the contractors around the world. All of the assemblers, all of the people who deal with these kinds of tools every day, who deal with splinters. Ooh! There's definitely a splinter right in my knuckle. Can you see it? Ooh, can you see it? Right there? What's in the world? I know this ain't making the wood crack. I know you lying.
So from like an hour or less the day before to a couple of hours the following day, the experience varied greatly, but overall, it came together beautifully and as expected. A few days after the seating was assembled and the initial studio setup was in place, Bree came over to help me work with the lighting and see the best way to light subjects of richer hues.
See how quick you got lit up?
Oh, yeah. How you doing? Hi.
So.
Hi, everyone. How passionate? Looked like a piece of brass and then he scored it.
Yeah, man, I know you lying.
I found out at least one of my bulbs arrived non-functional.
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
So I was slightly perturbed by that, but I kept moving.
Because where the light?
That plug work, right? That particular one?
They plugged into the same thing, so
Okay.
if one is working, then both of them should be working. All right, passions. So this is the on-off switch, and as you can see, I'm turning it on and nothing is happening. And it is plugged into the same thing, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
If it's the bulb?
If it's the bulb, I'm gonna be upset. It is the bulb. Filament. So, okay.
Are these bulbs supposed to last, like, or they have to be replaced type thing, right? Cause
I don't know. I don't even know where to get the bulbs by themselves.
Got you. Let me look at that real quick. I wouldn't be surprised if you could get something like this from like a Home Depot or something like that.
Maybe. But
you just got it.
right, like, lest we forget that these arrived last week and that they've only never been used. So, oh hell no. It sounds like this filament is jingling around too. Alright, close your eyes. Oh, this filament is jingling around. And alright, so we have light. So that's good.
She was the first to see the furniture, and her reaction was priceless. Unfortunately, I wasn't recording when she first walked into the space, and I had already had a few days to swoon over it and admire it. So I didn't even consider capturing her reaction, but her review was everything. Welcome to What One Woman Does Studios.
Welcome. Yay! I love this. I love this.
Thank you. Tell them how you feel about the furniture. I didn't record it. I wish I did.
Good Morning America, waiting to go on stage. You know, so it's like the texture, the feel of the couch. It all says money. It says you want to hear what I have to say, and you have the time to listen. Like, because I could lean back and you had mentioned off camera, like, you don't miss the fact that there's no arms on the chair at all. Most couches have armchairs,
right?
But because it's curved, it's like you just lean back, and that also contributes to the how you feel when you're in here and just
more relaxed.
It's
not such a formal conversation.
Exactly, because you're not like upright like this if you don't want to be. And yeah, then it's roomy. You know, it's roomy. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, I'm not the smallest person. You know, like, Passion knows, like, I be trying to take my coat off in her car, and I be struggling. I gotta get out the car because it'd be like a giraffe in there, like,
yo, not a giraffe, kid.
I'd be like, yeah, why do I feel so big in here? But it's beautiful. Like, it's you feel sturdy, you know, for big girls, but, you know, for my larger fellas, whoever, like,
right.
you know what it is. You ain't gonna feel self-conscious sitting down,
right?
Like, oh, it's
not gonna support me, right?
Right.
No, and I
like,
looked at that. I looked to see, like, what was the weight capacity, because that's a real thing. And I actually learned to look at that from looking for a massage table, because a lot of the reviews were saying, like, this says it's to 250-pound capacity, and my client got on here, and my client's only like 200 pounds, and the table broke underneath, and it's like, not a massage table. Now when you naked, it about to lay down. Girl! And she was so embarrassed, and I'm like, I would be horrified.
That's terrible.
So I was like, nah, I could never play myself. Right, I could never play myself and have a guest come into the space and allow them to sit on a seat.
Sit on one side and
then
they just plop
right,
over.
and then they be like, or they're asking me, like, you know, will this support my weight? So I've already done that, you know, and it's not a point of offense. Even though somebody might be offended, like, either be offended that somebody took the time to make sure that the furniture wasn't going to break underneath you, or be offended and embarrassed when it does. Because I just had a conversation with somebody about that, and they were saying that in nursing, that they had actually, like, called to a supervisor to get some leadership, because they wanted to confirm that the chair was going to capacitate the weight of the patient, and the patient was offended and reported them. So you gonna report me for making sure this don't break underneath you? Go ahead. So,
okay.
Right. But
this
they would have been
about to be supported by matchsticks, so you gonna have to find out. You gonna have to find out.
Say matchsticks? I can't take you.
I love this. It's very comfortable. You could have a really in-depth conversation here, like.
And, like, really sit and face each other and not feel like you right on top of the person. And I like that. I like the fact that you can have that intimacy there and still everybody's in this one shot. Or, like I said, we can be in separate places, but I do need to pull that chair over. That was good, though, for us to be able to see lighting-wise how it looks. So I need to be mindful when I have guests.
They try to act cool. They're like...
Right, and they get smacked in the head with leaves. That ain't it. I want the foliage to be in the shot, but I don't want anybody getting smacked in the head. But very comfortable to sit on, and, like, to stay seated, and you don't feel fidgety.
Yes,
that's a thing.
I haven't moved.
You
much.
haven't.
I was
like, and we've been in here for a while. We were talking before I started recording, because I was like, you know what, this is a great opportunity for me to light somebody, and I appreciate the fact that you're a browner complexion, because now it gives... Yes, first of all, because I celebrate blackness, okay? But it gives me an opportunity, one, to see like contrast and light. So if I'm lighting, if the two of us are here, to be mindful, because the light on me would be different from the light on you. And I want to make sure that your visibility is there, and I also want to make sure that your features are highlighted. Because too often what happens is that, like, when people are trying to light, like, and I've seen this in stage productions, they're lighting the stage, right? And then you have a mix of characters. So you have somebody your complexion and you have somebody my complexion. So then when you take pictures, I just look like an orb because I'm too bright. So it's just a bright light on my face, and I just look like an orb with a body and clothes, right? And then like you'll look perfectly lit and like so like I saw pictures from a play that I was in. Like you could see the tears on Sid's face, and I was like, wow. Not me. I was just an orb. I was just a spot of light with clothes on. Okay, so for everybody who thinks that light skin is the right skin, they laugh. It ain't.
I love the couch. I love the texture. I love how it feels. It feels like a studio. It feels like a studio seat, and just y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know the half. Y'all seeing this one side. Like just wait and see. It's gonna the level up.
So that was January 19th. I initiated the order for my panels on January 24th, completed it on January 26th, and was fully contented to wait to receive and mount them. And then one of my mentors gives me a brilliant strategy that, if executed, would have a threefold reward. So February 2nd, I once again enlist Breeze Services, and we proceed to move me out of the master bedroom and relocate the studio. Yet another exhausting project that took several hours, and when we stopped, we weren't finished, but we were at a place where it was more of a me project than a we project. One of those me jobs was maximizing on the real estate in the space.
Provided with the best love, let's make it number. We've been provided with the best trust, let's take it. I said higher, higher. Girl, why not go down? I crave it. Higher, higher. I know just what time it is, so let's go. You are definitely the one for each and every endeavor we encounter. Forget in a bedroom, that's when I make your flower bloom. Girl, I got you, time to make that good thing blossom. Hear me now, girl, me praise the fire. Blessings I receive to move with honor. Love me, love your back, me now go like on the way you hold me down, me born and cry. Love Monday, I road, I feel that something yet. Yes, it does exist, you have to find it. Now go fret, cause I have realized as a guy that hurt inside, I'm willing to try now. Higher, higher. Girl, why not go down? I crave it. Higher, higher. I know just what time it is, so let's go. You are definitely the one for each and every endeavor we encounter. In the name of love, I found you. And to not forget in that bedroom, that's when I make your flower bloom. Girl, I got you, time to make that good thing blossom. Sandra, you're gonna be my baby lover. Oh, yeah, Sandra, yeah. Down there, Sandra, you're gonna be my baby lover. Well, Sandra, right. Well, higher, higher. Girl, why not go down? I crave it. Higher, higher. I know just what time it is, so let's go. You are definitely the one for each and every endeavor we encounter. In the name of love, I found you. And to not forget in that bedroom, that's when I make your flower bloom. Girl, I got you, time to make that good thing blossom. Yeah. Girl, I got you, time to make that good thing blossom.
A lot of us struggle because we don't make full use of our vertical real estate. were steady going across, but not necessarily going up. I needed to go up because the way my plants grow, I have to propagate multiple times a year. More pots means more space needed to showcase my babies. So February 4th, I received the plant stand I ordered on Etsy. The look is good with the exception of that piece that was splintered when I took it out of the box. The mobility is decent, but the instructions were pupukaka and there was hardware missing. Yet another project that was alleged to be easy to complete in a few minutes that took like 2 hours. I literally had to assemble, disassemble, and reassemble various pieces multiple times because of how trash the instructions were. So this best sums up how I felt about that. And again, you can watch the full unboxing, assembly, and review. Okay, so first of all, these are like the most trash instructions I've ever received, ever, right? This is the whole instruction manual, right? It's some pictures, right? You have all these things labeled over here, and the only things that are labeled is this one stick and this one bag, right? That has the 2 long bolts, but doesn't have the bolt covers, right? That are here. So that's its own thing. Those are the only items out of everything that came with this. Those are the only things that are actually labeled. Everything else is a guessing game. I can't believe this is happening. This is happening. I don't know how I feel about this after it's done, but the way I feel about it right now, I definitely feel like it's worth the money that I spent. I feel like this easily could have been $19.99. It should have been. Like, doesn't matter if it's made out of bamboo. If the bamboo is not, like, if the whole thing feels like it's going to fall apart if you breathe on it wrong. All right. So I'm still struggling with this, right? I would never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, like in desperation, I would never order from this company again. And then this hole is so poorly drilled. Hey, yo, I would never order from them again. Never. Never will I order. Never will I order from them again. You can count on that. 'Cause this is trash. And it is working on my last nerve. Ooh, I don't like this. It's a waste of my time every time I try to do it. Ooh, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't love it. Oh, it's taking long. So yeah, it's cute or whatever, and my babies look great on it, but they could refund me my whole expense and I wouldn't order from them again. But enough on that. February 11th. So this is exactly a month after I ordered the furniture and sat on the couch weeping about the journey from when to then. I get an email saying my panels were shipped. When I finally received them, I recorded the unboxing because I knew that would be an emotional experience. And it was. All right, y'all. So I know y'all was tired of looking at me looking like Raggedy Ann. So I got myself together a little bit. All right. This is the moment that we have all been waiting for. And by we, I mean me. So what you don't know is that one of the reasons that you have not seen the full studio yet is because the furniture, I got furniture for the studio. I did a whole redesign for the studio. And I'm still in the process, which is why you could probably see my bathrobe in the background. But maybe that's from hair and makeup. But you didn't think about that, right? So I have been watching carefully and closely, okay? I worked very closely with the person who was going to be doing the work on this, who, after the fact, I found out is the owner I believe the pronunciation is Psy Acoustics, PSY Acoustics. I'm assuming that it's Psy because I would assume it has something to do like psychology or psychedelics or whatever. I could be wrong, but he'll let us know at some point. Okay, so what I'm unboxing right now. I'm unboxing my acoustic panels. This is the company name. Make sure you get a close up on this. And this is all the hardware that I'm gonna need. And then there are 3 other little white boxes, but I'm not gonna let you see those right now because there's so many projects going on in this room right now. Now, what we did note is that the box came damaged. 1 piece of damage here, 1 piece of damage here. So I'm hoping that it did not impact my project because FedEx ain't gonna like it if it did. Oh, good, this is the back. All right. I'm trying really hard not to cry. Oh, okay. So
Yay.
the measurements of the panels are 2 feet wide by 4 feet long. So for any of you who thought that I was a lot taller, I'm 5'3" 3/4", which is why this panel is as big as me. Oh my God. All right, so what I did was I was searching online because I wanted custom acoustic panels. And I found a couple places, but I really liked what Psy had to offer. What you may or may not be able to see right now is this right here. Is LED lighting so that my panel is actually backlit. They had 2 options. They have an option for you to backlight and to front light. I didn't want the front lighting. I only wanted the back lighting because I didn't know exactly when I sit it on the wall how it's going to impact the furniture, and I didn't want it to be like if the lighting was on the bottom, I didn't want it to be hitting anybody in the neck because I didn't want anybody to be like, I went on a Passion PSA podcast and I came back with injuries, and now I would like to say you sorry for leaning your head where you wasn't supposed to lean it. Amen, saints. I am taking these out, intentionally taking them out backwards because, y'all, I feel like I'm going to have a moment like I did with my rug. Y'all know I love my rug. My rug is my friend. Bria, you ready? Y'all don't even understand.
I'm ready.
Because it is so important to give people credit, okay? So what we're gonna start with, you've already seen the backlighting, okay? You see the kit for me to be able to do that. I want you to get a shot right here of the side because I wanted everybody to be able to get their credit. I wanted anybody who took a photo of me and I used their photo, I wanted them to be able to get their credit. So I made sure that he was able to include who it was that took these photos. So this one was by Elliot Ashby. This one was taken by, oh my God. Hold on. This one was taken by Desi. This one was taken by Yolanda Ramirez. If you follow me on Instagram a couple years ago, I posted this picture. It wasn't the full-length picture, but I posted this picture. It was a picture of me. Brianna was one of the creators of this event. It was an event it was a Black Lives Matter event on the Greenway in Co-op City. And I was one of the featured artists. and a photographer caught a picture of me and it was in the paper. And I reached out to the paper years later and I...
So good, girl. This is your moment. You deserve it. Oh wow. Let me zoom in.
I'm gonna go on the. I'm gonna put this on. I was... This is the photo that was taken by Elliot, and the importance of this photo. One, it's one that I've used for a lot of stuff promotionally. Oh my God. I've used it for a lot of stuff promotionally, but if you've been with me since the beginning, then you know that that was from the photo shoot from the original podcast, from the My Brilliant Friends podcast. And even though that ended abruptly and it didn't end as planned, I don't have any negative words to say about that experience. It was so trying, but it was so valuable, a lesson. And I was able to walk away with so many viable and valuable tools. I'm really trying to keep myself composed.
Wow.
This photo was taken by Desi. This was from our second photo shoot. I needed headshots. Some of you know that I act. I needed headshots. I didn't have any, so we took these photos, and I remember I was trying to do everything right. I wanted to make sure I came with the right makeup and the right clothing, and I remember talking to somebody who was in casting.
Mm-hmm.
She asked me to bring a headshot, and I gave her this. She laughed at me. She was like, "Oh no, this you can't use this. You can't use this. You can't use these." It was really obnoxious, and it was hurtful because I didn't know, and I was doing my best, and I didn't have any resources. I was unemployed at the time. I was doing everything I could, hustling every way that I could to make these things happen. And she basically made me feel like, I took these photos and I spent this money that I really couldn't afford to spend for no reason. But everything has purpose. And every no ain't never. Some no's are not right now. So, Desi, if you see this, thank you so much for taking this photo.
Wow. It's amazing because this has to be my favorite photo of you. Well
Every
done.
no ain't never, y'all. Sometimes it's not right now. There's some people who don't see value in what you're doing right now. You'll see it on the back end. So y'all, Brianna's behind the camera. Brianna was the creator of this event. Brianna is my executive assistant. She reached out to me because for a while we hadn't spoken. We met some years ago, and for a while we hadn't spoken. I don't remember what happened, but life kind of separated us. We didn't fall out or anything like that.
And when we reunited, it was at an event. It was at a spoken word event. I was one of the features. And she came through. She came with her camera and her big smile. And she just showed me so much love. And I think that was the first time that she had actually seen me do spoken word in person. And, you know, people don't forget when you're doing something. Sometimes you feel forgotten, where you feel like what you're doing isn't enough or it doesn't feel valuable enough, but people will show up out of nowhere and they'll show you that it was memorable enough for them to call on you later. So she reached out to me. She was like, sis, I'm doing this event and I would love for you to be a part of it. You have X amount of time and you can do whatever you want. If you want to sing, if you want to do a poem, I would love if you did a poem. And I did do a poem, and I actually I framed the newspaper clipping as well as the actual poem. I printed it out. I made it smaller so it all fits nice and neat in an 11 by 14. But this was the photo. Thank you to Yolanda Ramirez for taking this photo. Because Black lives do indeed create. And so for those of you who are wondering what these are for, acoustic panels, they help with the sound dampening. So if you're, especially depending on where your space is set up, if the walls are cement, you can have what they call reflections or echoes, right? So a lot of people feel like, oh, the acoustics in here are great. Acoustics are great if you're rehearsing, but acoustics are not great if you're trying to record a broadcast or something along those, or if you're trying to record, you know, in the booth. So you want to make sure that the sound it's dampened as much as possible. So you see people and they have they have foam like this. And they have it on their walls and they have it on their ceilings or what have you. And if you look at certain podcasts or just certain videos, you'll see like their whole wall will be alternating patterns of something like this, and that's so that you can get the best sound. And that's what those are for. So I did not get bass traps. That was intentional because I said, well, you know, right now I'm more focused on the sound panels on the wall to see how that decreases the sound. When I start going into more music production, then I'll concern myself with the bass traps. And for these panels that I already have, these are actually going to go on the ceiling, because I was doing some research and some people were saying, you know, a lot of people focus on making sure that there's something on the floor, but the floor is not where you need to concern yourself with the reflections. It's actually the ceiling. And so because the company, the podcast colors are purple and gold, and the company colors I'm still working out, but they'll probably be black and gold, with a trim of purple somewhere, or it'll be that 3-color mix. These purple and black foams will be on the ceiling. We'll see what that does for the sound. Shout out to Ghost, because when I first got started, he was the one that got me started. He was the one that got me these and was like, okay, well, you don't need much. You have pretty much all you need. So I need a moment to process all of this, and I have a class in a few minutes, so that's crazy. But this might just end up being the episode. Passion public service announcement. Passionates, whatever you did then, it probably still has value now, the good and the bad, right? So we have to consider that. We have to consider that there's some things that we've done that we want to just like put behind us, but it still has some value to somebody. And there's some important things that we did, and we thought it was good, and we thought it was valuable, and we thought it was a good look. We thought it was a great move, and then somebody made us feel like it was worthless. It's not worthless. Whatever you're working on now, it has value. If it's not serving you in this moment, it will serve you down the line. So stay open to it. Keep your heart open to it. Know that there is payoff. And it might be a decade later. It might be, but it still will pay off. I can promise you that. do your research and go with the company that speaks to you the most. Jesse, owner of Psy Acoustics, Jesse kept telling me when he was doing the mock-ups, when he did this, he was like, they came out beautiful. And I was hoping so. They're gorgeous. I don't know what it looks like on camera because we're using the back camera, so I can't even see the screen. They are absolutely gorgeous. They are exactly what I envisioned. And so if you were wondering why I chose these 3 pictures, it's 3 stories, right? If you know Passion No Last Necessary, you may know her as the spoken word artist. That's the picture with me with the head wrap. If you know me as an actor, then the photo that Desi took. And if you know me as the podcaster, then you know me from the picture that Elliot took. But all 3 of these are major components of Passion No Last Necessary, the artist. So everything I do, I tell a story, right? So why wouldn't the pictures on my wall tell a story? So that's it. I'm gonna go process. The big reveal will be probably next week or the week after that. But y'all go forth. Be great, be filled with bliss, be armed and empowered with knowledge. Invest in yourself. It don't matter what anybody says. Invest in yourself. I started a new business, What One Woman Does Consulting. So if you need some coaching or you need some consultations on ideas that you can run with, plays that you can run with to get your business off the ground and get it going, reach out to me. I'll put the information in the description box. I hope you check the description box. I think I said everything, and if I didn't, I'm at a loss for words. In all things, be passionate. See you later.
There was additional footage showing the backlighting, but there were technical difficulties with the footage. And currently, there are technical difficulties with getting the lights to act right. I'm in talks with the light company to see how we can get that resolved. But yeah, that was February 20th. And on the 23rd, another member of the What One Woman Does team came through, and we got all 3 panels up on the wall. A lot of this work was done either before work or when I came home from work. On the days I didn't have to work the day job, there was so much other work being done. Whether it was working on the podcast, working on the consulting company, going to mentorship, being on accountability calls. There are literally 1,000 things going on in the course of my day, as I'm sure there's much going on in your day as well. I make it a point to say this because a passionate reached out after the last episode and asked, how do you know you're ready? Now, passionates, if you remember the episode with Shangri, you know that there are basically 2 different versions of coaching that you can get from me. You can get the empathetic, let's strategize and come up with a plan and follow up to see how much progress you've made and maybe what changes we need to make, that style of coaching. And then there's the very curt, extremely direct, you may have time to waste, but I don't, so let's get to it. They got the latter. And before you get in your bag, they got both. But there's only so much soft speaking that's going to be done if we're talking in circles. If someone is in danger, there's only so much, excuse me, it would be to your benefit to exit, before you have to turn the dial up to clear out. Also, I know them personally. So to you, beloved passionate, how do you know when you're ready? That depends on you. If you're the person that needs to make a list and check certain boxes to feel ready, then you'll know when your list is made and your boxes are checked. Is that always the best way? No. If my readiness was contingent upon my lists being checked off completely, unquestionably, I wouldn't be here now. Whew. How I knew I was ready was when my Brilliant Friends podcast, created by my former partner and co-hosted by me, became a Brilliant Friend Talking to Herself podcast. I kept going. When an episode took almost a month to get up, and not for lack of effort, but because technology. When this documentary erased 3 times, actually 5 at the time of final edit, but yeah. And the first time, I took a nap to avoid an anxiety attack. Then I got back to it. And the second time, it happened right when I started feeling good about it and feeling like I was finally nearing the end, which I wasn't. But I was hopeful. But just to have that belief shattered after being sleep deprived for a week, multiple things falling through the cracks, I cried bitter, mournful tears while scrubbing the internet for ways to recover it. The third time, I won't even say, because I know it was an accident, but let's just say someone was trying to help, and in them trying to be helpful, the slightest gesture caused the episode to erase again. But all three times, I kept working until I had something complete and acceptable to my liking. When someone reached out and said they wanted to produce the show, but they weren't any more equipped than I was, and after it was all said and done, I was back at square one. So I took a chance on some advice I was given and started producing my own show, even though I didn't know what I was doing or how to do it. When episodes were supposed to be up on Tuesdays at 12 and weren't, and I kept working until they were up as promised, like this very documentary, through embarrassment and concern that my audience would leave because of my inconsistency, through disappointment for not yet overcoming that hurdle of always running a little or a lot behind, excuses will always be readily available. When excuses become inexcusable, that's when you're ready. It's just that you don't understand, because you have 1,000 things going on and so does everybody else doing what you're not. It's not about money. Between me and my partners, we can show you how to get to the capital. It's not about bad credit. Credit repair is a service I offer under the consulting company, as well as coaching. And if you're past coaching and you need therapy, I have a network of people that can get you into capable hands. It's not about not knowing how to start a business or what kind of business to start. It's about you actually wanting to do it. And you could say, I want to do it. But the minute you add in that negating conjunction, you're telling yourself what I already know. You don't want to do it. Yes, I do, but I don't want to fail. No, you don't, because every self-made millionaire and every success story told by every notable person includes multiple failures. Failure is inevitable. If you really want to do it, you accept that failure is part of the success because it means you at least tried. I feel like I could do it if I had an accountability partner. You do have an accountability partner. Look in the mirror. Because if I call you every day to see what kind of progress you've made and you haven't made any, at first you'll give me excuses. Then you'll either conveniently become unavailable to talk to me or I'll lose interest in hounding you. The only person that's going to absolutely hold you accountable is you. No, that's not true. If someone was dependent on me, I wouldn't let them down. So either you a liar or a liar. Credit lenders depend on you to pay them back. And when you don't have the money, you dodge the calls of the bill collectors, right? That's literally an accountability call. Also, every day, you depend on you and you casually let yourself down and justify it. Then pacify yourself and say some nonsense like, oh, all in God's timing. Leave God out of it. Okay, Passion, but even if you could help me get some funding, I'm literally swimming in debt. If you have subscriptions to every streaming service, get your hair, nails, laundry, and any other paid professional service performed consistently, and support your habits and vices. It's not about can't. It's that you don't want to. If you can find the money for all of that, you can find the money to finance your goals and dreams. Remember trade-off and opportunity cost? Passion, I hear you, but I have kids and you don't. That's a whole other set of responsibilities. You right. I'm not a full-time parent, but I can bring on some full-time parents with little to no support so they can talk to you. Well, that's nice for them, but everybody's circumstances are different. You are 100% correct, beloved. And in most cases, the difference that you are talking about is the willingness or unwillingness to make excuses. You know you're ready when you don't want to make excuses anymore, so you stop making them and take action. And action is not 30 years worth of research. That's like the professional student afraid to go out there and pursue the job, so they just keep pursuing degrees. Like, yeah, do some research, but if you're not going to start applying any of it, you're wasting time. You're ready when the step makes you nauseous from terror, from dread, from anxiety, and you still do it. You're ready when you'll do it exhausted. You're ready when you'll try to do even 15 minutes of it on your lunch break.
Even if I didn't pull the trigger on the order, to be able to be in a position to make the decision. God, I thank you.
Ooh, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am not afraid of being who I am. I am not afraid.
If I never have a guest in this space, if I never go any further than this here, the actor, the spoken word artist, the coach, the counselor, motivational speaker, and educator, they deserve a stage. So I gave them one. Welcome to What One Woman Does Studios. In all things, be passionate. See you later.